Welcome to Stoic Mastery, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy to help you navigate life's challenges with clarity, strength, and resilience. In today's video, we're tackling a topic that resonates with everyone: handling disrespect and staying calm under pressure. Whether it's an unkind word, a dismissive gesture, or outright hostility, dealing with disrespect is an unavoidable part of life. But what if I told you that there's a way to rise above it without losing your peace of mind? The Stoics believe that how we respond to adversity defines who we are. Disrespect is no exception. Instead of reacting emotionally or letting it disrupt your balance, Stoicism teaches us how to maintain control, remain composed, and transform negativity into an opportunity for growth. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending that disrespect doesn't sting. It's about mastering your inner world so that external actions, no matter how challenging, can't dictate your state of mind. In this video, we'll uncover 10 powerful lessons from Stoic philosophy that will empower you to face disrespect with calmness and strength. These principles, inspired by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, will help you turn moments of conflict into opportunities for self-improvement and inner peace. By the end, you'll walk away with practical tools to handle any situation with grace, wisdom, and confidence. If you've ever struggled with how to handle rude comments, unkind behavior, or criticism, this video is for you. Stick with us as we explore the Stoic approach to mastering disrespect and staying calm. Let's dive in and discover the power of Stoic philosophy to transform the way you handle life's challenges. Lesson 1. Control what you can. In the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a foundational principle: focus on what is within your control and let go of what is not. This idea, emphasized by Epictetus in his Enchiridion, is a powerful tool for dealing with disrespect. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to react emotionally, to defend yourself, retaliate, or dwell on the insult. But the Stoics teach us that these reactions often stem from focusing on the wrong things, the actions of others which are beyond our control. Epictetus said, "We are disturbed not by things but by the views we take of them." This means that disrespect in itself is not inherently upsetting. It's how we interpret it that causes distress. If you internalize someone's rude comment or dismissive attitude, you are giving them power over your inner peace. By contrast, if you choose to focus only on your response, you reclaim control and rise above the situation. Imagine someone insults you in a meeting. You can't control their words, tone, or intentions, but you can control your reaction. You can choose to stay calm, respond thoughtfully, or even ignore the comment altogether. This doesn't mean you're passive or weak. It means you prioritize your peace of mind over engaging in a futile battle. The Stoics understood that the energy spent reacting to others' negativity is energy taken away from pursuing your own goals. To apply this principle, start by separating what you can control from what you cannot. You can control your thoughts, actions, and perspective. You cannot control someone else's opinions, words, or behavior. This mental exercise helps you stay grounded and prevents you from spiraling into anger or frustration. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't depend on the other person's behavior. Whether they apologize, continue their disrespect, or walk away, your peace remains intact because it's rooted in your internal decisions. You've taken the power out of their hands and placed it firmly within your own. This idea extends beyond isolated incidents of disrespect. It's a mindset for life. Consider how often we stress about things outside our control: other people's judgments, traffic delays, or even the weather. Stoicism teaches that by focusing solely on what you can influence, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. One way to practice this lesson is through daily reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I let someone else's actions disturb my peace today? Could I have handled it differently? This reflection builds awareness and helps you strengthen your ability to focus on your sphere of control. Another helpful practice is visualization. Before entering a potentially challenging situation, imagine how you might respond if you face disrespect. Picture yourself staying calm, composed, and unaffected. When the situation arises, your mind will already be prepared to respond with stoic grace. In mastering the art of controlling what you can, you discover that disrespect, no matter how unpleasant, has no real power over you. It's merely an external event, an opportunity to practice the stoic virtue of self-mastery. Focus on your response, let go of what you can't change, and watch as disrespect loses its ability to shake your peace. Lesson 2. Don't take it personally. One of the most liberating principles in Stoic philosophy is the realization that other people's behavior is rarely about you. Disrespectful comments, rude behavior, or dismissive attitudes often stem from the other person's internal struggles, insecurities, or ignorance. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. By not taking things personally, you create emotional distance and protect your inner peace. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing their words or actions are a reflection of your worth. However, Stoicism teaches us to question this narrative. Is their behavior really about you, or is it a reflection of their own character and struggles? More often than not, disrespectful behavior says more about the person delivering it than the person receiving it. For instance, a colleague might snap at you during a meeting. At first, you might feel insulted or targeted, but upon reflection, you realize they're likely stressed, frustrated, or overwhelmed by their own challenges. Instead of internalizing their disrespect, you can reframe it as their problem, not yours. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it allows you to approach the situation with empathy and detachment rather than anger or hurt. The Stoics also understood that taking things personally often stems from ego. When we let our sense of self-importance dominate, we interpret every slight or insult as a personal attack. Marcus Aurelius advises, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. In other words, let go of the need to prove yourself or demand respect from others. Instead, focus on cultivating humility and self-awareness. To practice this principle, start by developing a mindset of curiosity rather than defensiveness. When faced with disrespect, pause and ask yourself, what might be driving their behavior? Is there something going on in their life that has nothing to do with me? By shifting your perspective, you can avoid reacting emotionally and maintain your composure. Another powerful tool is the practice of cognitive distancing. This involves recognizing that other people's opinions, insults, or actions are just that. They're opinions, not facts. Epictetus teaches us, if someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against their accusations, but reply, you obviously don't know me well enough, or you would have mentioned more faults. This response reflects a sense of humor, humility, and a refusal to let others dictate your self-worth. Additionally, remind yourself that you cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you interpret and respond to their behavior. Disrespect only affects you if you allow it to. By refusing to take it personally, you rob it of its power. In the end, not taking things personally is a form of freedom. It allows you to detach from the negativity of others and focus on what truly matters, your own thoughts, actions, and growth. Instead of being drawn into unnecessary conflict, you remain calm, composed, and aligned with your values. This is the Stoic way. Lesson 3. Practice the pause. One of the most valuable Stoic tools for handling disrespect is the simple yet profound act of pausing before reacting. When someone insults or disrespects you, the natural response is often immediate: anger, frustration, or retaliation. But the Stoics teach us that power lies not in the immediacy of our reaction, but in our ability to pause, reflect, and respond with intention. Epictetus reminds us, it is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The pause creates the space needed to examine these judgments. When you pause, even for a few seconds, you allow yourself to step back from the emotional impulse and consider your response. Instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions, you choose how to proceed. This is where true mastery begins. Imagine someone criticizes you in front of others. Without a pause, you might lash out defensively or make a sarcastic remark, which only escalates the tension. However, if you pause, you create an opportunity to assess the situation. You can ask yourself, why am I upset? Is this worth my energy? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By doing so, you regain control over the moment and ensure your response reflects strength and composure. Pausing doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's about acknowledging them without letting them take over. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about observing one's emotions as they arise. He advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The pause is where this realization begins. It's where you separate your immediate feelings from the action you choose to take. To cultivate this habit, practice mindfulness in your daily life. Pay attention to your emotions as they arise, even in non-confrontational situations. For instance, if you feel frustrated while waiting in line or annoyed by a small inconvenience, take a moment to pause, breathe, and observe your feelings. This practice builds your ability to pause in more intense situations, such as when facing disrespect. The Stoics also emphasized preparation. Before entering potentially challenging interactions, mentally rehearse how you will pause if confronted with rudeness or criticism. Visualization helps you anticipate your emotional triggers and prepares you to handle them with grace. Think of it as training your mind to respond like a Stoic when the time comes. When you practice the pause, you give yourself the chance to respond in a way that aligns with your values, rather than reacting out of emotion. This builds your self-respect and often diffuses conflict. Others may even admire your composure, creating an opportunity to turn a negative moment into a positive one. In essence, the pause is a gateway to self-mastery. It allows you to step out of reactive patterns and choose responses that reflect strength, wisdom, and calm. When faced with disrespect, remember, the pause is your superpower. Use it to transform conflict into a moment of personal growth and Stoic practice. Lesson 4. Seek to understand, not to win. When confronted with disrespect, the natural reaction for many is to fight back, defend their pride, or prove the other person wrong. However, the Stoics teach us to approach such moments not as battles to be won, but as opportunities for understanding. This shift in mindset is transformative, turning conflicts into moments of clarity and growth. The philosopher Seneca offers us this insight. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. In other words, instead of reacting impulsively to disrespect, step back and seek to understand the other person's perspective. What might be driving their behavior? Is their disrespect rooted in ignorance, pain, or frustration? Often people lash out because of their own internal struggles, not because of anything you've done. Seeking to understand doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior or excusing disrespect. It means detaching your ego from the situation and looking at it with curiosity and empathy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This self-reflection helps you approach the situation with humility rather than arrogance. For example, imagine a coworker interrupts and undermines you during a meeting. Instead of snapping back or stewing in anger, take a moment to consider their perspective. Are they feeling overlooked or insecure? Are they under pressure from external forces? By asking these questions, you shift your focus from being defensive to being empathetic, which often leads to a more constructive response. Understanding does not require agreement. You can empathize with someone's circumstances while still holding firm boundaries. The Stoic approach is to remain calm and deliberate, refusing to let someone else's behavior dictate your mood or actions. Responding with curiosity instead of anger often disarms the other person, diffuses the tension, and prevents the conflict from escalating. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is to practice active listening. When someone is being disrespectful, resist the urge to interrupt or retaliate. Instead, focus on truly hearing their words. Sometimes the act of being heard can soften their hostility. you might discover that their disrespect is less about you and more about their own unresolved emotions. This understanding puts you in a position of strength, as you're no longer reacting but thoughtfully responding. Another Stoic practice is to remind yourself of the impermanence of conflict. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much more damage anger and grief do than the things that cause them?" The insult or disrespect you experience today will soon be forgotten. However, your response will remain a reflection of your character. Seek to understand the bigger picture, not just the fleeting moment of conflict. In the end, seeking to understand rather than win is about preserving your inner peace. When you let go of the need to dominate or prove yourself, you free yourself from the emotional burden of conflict. Instead, you remain calm, centered, and in control, embodying the strength and wisdom of a true Stoic. Lesson 5. Reframe the insult. The Stoics believe that our perspective shapes our reality. An insult in itself holds no inherent power. It only becomes harmful if we assign meaning to it. By reframing insults, we can transform them into opportunities for self-reflection, growth, or even humor. This practice helps us maintain our composure and strengthens our inner resilience. Epictetus, a key figure in Stoicism, said, "If someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against their accusations, but reply, 'You obviously don't know me well enough,' or you would have mentioned more faults." This response reflects a key Stoic principle, the ability to distance yourself from others' opinions. Instead of taking the insult seriously, Epictetus turns it into a light-hearted moment, demonstrating self-awareness and detachment. Reframing insults begins with a simple but powerful realization. An insult says more about the insulter than the recipient. When someone disrespects you, it often stems from their own insecurities, frustrations, or misunderstandings. By shifting your focus from the insult to its underlying cause, you can approach the situation with empathy and perspective. For example, a rude coworker might be acting out due to stress, not because of anything you did. Another way to reframe insults is by examining them for truth. Marcus Aurelius encouraged self-reflection, writing, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change." If there's validity in the criticism, use it as an opportunity to improve. If the insult is baseless, dismiss it as noise. Either way, you win, by growing or by maintaining your composure. Humor is another powerful tool for reframing. By laughing at an insult, you strip it of its power. For instance, if someone mocks your appearance, you might reply with something playful, like, "Good point. Maybe I should hire you as my stylist." This approach not only diffuses tension, but also shows confidence and emotional control. Reframing also involves choosing not to engage. Seneca reminds us, "A wise man is superior to any insults which can be put upon him, and the best reply to unseemly behavior is patience and moderation." When you refuse to react emotionally, you deny the insulter the satisfaction of upsetting you. Instead, you rise above their negativity and maintain your peace of mind. To practice reframing insults, start by cultivating self-awareness. When someone disrespects you, pause and observe your immediate emotional reaction. Instead of acting on that impulse, ask yourself, "Is this worth my energy? Can I see this from a different perspective?" Over time, this habit will become second nature, allowing you to remain calm and composed even in challenging situations. Ultimately, reframing insults is about reclaiming your power. By interpreting them in a way that serves you, whether as humor, feedback, or irrelevant noise, you ensure that your peace remains intact. As a Stoic, you have the strength to rise above insults, turning them into stepping stones for growth and mastery. Lesson 6. Remember the bigger picture. In the face of disrespect, it's easy to get consumed by the moment, to focus so intensely on the slight that it feels monumental. But the Stoics teach us to step back and consider the bigger picture. This practice shifts our perspective, reminding us that many of life's challenges, including disrespect, are fleeting and insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the vastness of time and the universe in his meditations. He wrote, "Keep in mind how fast things pass by and are gone, those that are now and those to come. Existence flows past us like a river. Disrespect, no matter how sharp or unjust, is just a tiny ripple in the river of your life. By remembering this, you can prevent yourself from overreacting or dwelling on the incident. Imagine someone insults you in public. In the moment, it might feel humiliating or infuriating, but if you step back and ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? The weight of the insult diminishes. This shift in perspective helps you see the disrespect for what it truly is: temporary, insignificant, and powerless to affect your life, unless you allow it to. The bigger picture also involves understanding that disrespect is a universal experience. Everyone faces it at some point. The Stoics believed that our shared humanity binds us, and recognizing this can foster compassion and patience. Seneca wrote, "We are all chained to fortune. The chain is not always of equal length." This means that while someone's disrespectful behavior may hurt, it's likely a result of their own struggles or shortcomings, not a reflection of your worth. Another element of the bigger picture is considering your long-term goals and values. Ask yourself, does engaging with this disrespectful person serve my purpose? Most likely, it does not. Responding emotionally or retaliating only distracts you from what truly matters in your life. The Stoics teach us to act with intention, focusing our energy on what aligns with our values and goals. The practice of memento mori, or remembering your mortality, also plays a key role in this lesson. Life is short and unpredictable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When you keep this in mind, it becomes easier to let go of petty conflicts and focus on living a life of purpose and virtue. To apply this lesson, start by developing the habit of zooming out in moments of conflict. When faced with disrespect, pause and remind yourself of the impermanence of the situation. Reflect on your larger purpose and the things that truly matter to you. This mental shift helps you stay calm, grounded, and focused. By remembering the bigger picture, you free yourself from the grip of disrespect. You realize that your life is far too valuable to be derailed by minor slights. In this perspective lies the true strength of the Stoic, the ability to rise above the noise and focus on what truly endures. Lesson 7. Respond with dignity, not anger. Stoicism teaches that our response to adversity reveals our true character. When faced with disrespect, the natural reaction might be to lash out or meet the insult with anger. However, the Stoics believed that dignity and self-control are far more powerful responses. By choosing to respond with dignity, you demonstrate strength, maintain your peace, and often disarm the disrespect itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This doesn't mean ignoring disrespect or tolerating injustice, but it does mean refusing to stoop to the level of those who insult or provoke you. When you respond with anger, you allow the other person to dictate your emotions and actions. Dignity, on the other hand, puts you back in control. Disrespect can be a test of your composure and values. Imagine a scenario where a colleague criticizes you harshly in front of others. Your instinct might be to defend yourself angrily or return the insult. But responding with dignity involves stepping back, breathing, and choosing your words carefully. For example, you might calmly say, "I appreciate your feedback. Let's discuss this further when emotions aren't running high." This kind of response not only diffuses the tension, but also shows that you are in control of your emotions. Dignity doesn't mean passivity. You can stand up for yourself while remaining calm and composed. Seneca emphasized the importance of moderation in conflict, writing, "There is no more stupefying thing than anger, nothing more bent on its own strength. If successful, none more arrogant. If foiled, none more insane." Responding with dignity ensures that your actions are deliberate and measured, rather than impulsive and destructive. To cultivate this approach, practice detaching your emotions from the situation. When someone disrespects you, remind yourself that their behavior, is a reflection of them, not you. Their words or actions do not diminish your value unless you allow them to. This detachment allows you to respond with clarity and confidence. Additionally, consider how your response aligns with your values. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Reacting with anger might feel satisfying in the moment, but it often leads to regret later. Responding with dignity, however, leaves you with a sense of pride and self-respect. One of the most effective ways to respond with dignity is through silence. Silence is a powerful tool. It communicates that you are unshaken and uninterested in engaging with negativity. It also gives you time to reflect and decide whether a response is even necessary. Sometimes the most dignified response is no response at all. Finally, responding with dignity often inspires respect. When others see your calmness in the face of disrespect, they are more likely to admire your composure and emulate your behavior. This creates a ripple effect, elevating the tone of interactions around you. In the end, responding with dignity isn't just about managing disrespect. It's about embodying the virtues of patience, self-control, and wisdom. By refusing to be provoked and choosing to act with intention, you prove that true strength lies not in anger but in grace under pressure. Lesson 8. Detachment is key. Detachment is one of the most powerful principles in Stoicism, particularly when dealing with disrespect. The idea is simple but transformative. By emotionally detaching from external events and focusing only on what is within your control, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Disrespect, no matter how harsh, loses its sting when you refuse to let it affect your inner peace. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom lies at the heart of detachment. When someone disrespects you, their behavior is an external event. You cannot control it. What you can control is your interpretation of that behavior and your response to it. Detachment allows you to see the insult for what it truly is. Words or actions that have no inherent power over you unless you grant them meaning. Detachment does not mean indifference or passivity. It means creating a buffer between your emotions and external events, giving yourself the space to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Imagine someone makes a snide remark about you in a public setting. Without detachment, you might feel compelled to defend yourself or retaliate, escalating the conflict. With detachment, you can recognize the comment as irrelevant to your self-worth and choose to respond, or not respond, with clarity and calm. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the impermanence of life and the triviality of most human concerns. He wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." Detachment allows you to step back and realize that most moments of disrespect are fleeting and insignificant. They only carry weight if you let them. A key practice in cultivating detachment is mindfulness. When someone disrespects you, take a moment to observe your emotional response without judgment. Notice the surge of anger or hurt, but don't act on it. Instead, remind yourself that this feeling will pass, just like the moment of disrespect itself. This simple pause can help you maintain your composure and perspective. Another Stoic tool for practicing detachment is negative visualization. Imagine situations where you might face disrespect, whether from a rude stranger, a difficult colleague, or a critical family member. Visualize yourself remaining calm and unaffected, detaching from their behavior, and focusing on your own values. This mental rehearsal prepares you to handle real-life scenarios with grace. Detachment also involves letting go of the desire for control over others. Many conflicts arise because we expect people to behave in certain ways. When they don't, we feel frustrated or disrespected. By accepting that you cannot control others' actions, you liberate yourself from these unrealistic expectations. This doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior, but it does mean recognizing that your peace of mind doesn't depend on others' respect or approval. Ultimately, detachment is about reclaiming your power. When you detach from the opinions and actions of others, you stop being a prisoner to external events. Instead, you become the master of your own mind, free to focus on what truly matters, your character, values, and inner peace. This is the essence of Stoic resilience. Lesson 9, practice negative visualization. Negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, is one of the most practical Stoic techniques for handling disrespect and other adversities. This practice involves mentally preparing yourself for challenges before they occur. By imagining scenarios where you might face insults, criticism, or rudeness, you train your mind to remain calm, composed, and unshaken when those situations arise. The concept may seem counterintuitive at first. Why think about unpleasant situations? The Stoics believed that by anticipating difficulties, you diminish their emotional impact and prevent yourself from being caught off guard. As Seneca explained, the man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. When you've already rehearsed how to respond to disrespect, the actual experience feels less jarring, allowing you to act with poise. Imagine walking into a meeting where you know a colleague often interrupts or dismisses your ideas. Instead of hoping it won't happen, visualize how you will respond if it does. Picture them cutting you off mid-sentence. Now imagine yourself calmly waiting for them to finish, acknowledging their input, and redirecting the conversation back to your point. This mental exercise equips you to handle the situation gracefully, no matter how challenging it becomes. Negative visualization doesn't mean dwelling on worst-case scenarios or becoming pessimistic. The goal is not to create anxiety, but to foster resilience. Marcus Aurelius often practiced this technique, writing, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall be met with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness.'" This wasn't an exercise in negativity, but a way to prepare his mind for the realities of human behavior, ensuring he would meet them with understanding and patience. This practice also helps you recognize that many of the things we fear or dread are not as bad as they seem. By imagining the worst, you strip it of its power. If someone insults you, you've already rehearsed how to stay calm and perhaps even find humor or wisdom in their words. This mental preparation builds your confidence and makes you less reactive. To incorporate negative visualization into your life, start with small, everyday scenarios. Before heading into a social gathering, visualize someone making an offhand comment that could be interpreted as rude. Picture yourself responding with kindness or deflecting the comment with a sense of humor. Over time, expand this practice to include more challenging situations, such as handling public criticism or dealing with a particularly difficult individual. Another benefit of this practice is gratitude. By imagining how things could go wrong, you gain a deeper appreciation for when things go well. If you've prepared yourself for disrespect but encounter kindness instead, it feels like a gift. This dual impact, building resilience and fostering gratitude, is what makes negative visualization such a powerful Stoic tool. Ultimately, negative visualization strengthens your ability to face life's challenges with grace. By rehearsing your responses to disrespect, you turn potential sources of frustration into opportunities for growth and self-mastery. You prepare not to avoid adversity, but to thrive in the face of it, embodying the true spirit of Stoicism. Lesson 10. Turn disrespect into a strength. The final lesson in mastering how to handle disrespect like a Stoic is one of transformation, turning moments of disrespect into opportunities for growth and strength. The Stoics believed that adversity, when approached with the right mindset, could become a tool for self-improvement. Disrespect is no different. Instead of allowing it to diminish you, you can use it to build resilience, develop patience, and reaffirm your commitment to living virtuously. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This principle, often summarized as, "the obstacle is the way," reminds us that challenges, disrespect included, are not just hurdles to overcome but stepping stones toward greater inner strength. When someone disrespects you, they present you with an opportunity to practice self-control, refine your character, and demonstrate your values. Turning disrespect into strength begins with reframing how you view it. Instead of seeing it as an attack or injustice, view it as a test of your composure and a chance to practice Stoic virtues. For example, when someone speaks to you rudely, think of it as a moment to exercise patience or empathy. By shifting your perspective, you move from being a passive victim to an active participant in your personal growth. Another way to transform disrespect is by using it as feedback, whether constructive or not. Seneca advised, "It is the power of a great mind to rise above insults." If someone criticizes you unfairly, ask yourself, is there any truth to this? If so, use it as an opportunity to improve. If not, recognize it as noise and let it go. Either way, you gain something valuable, insight, or the chance to practice letting go. Disrespect can also fuel motivation. Let it inspire you to prove, not to them, but to yourself, that you are capable of rising above negativity. Channel the energy of the experience into your goals and aspirations. For example, if someone doubts your abilities, use that moment to double down on your efforts, not out of spite, but as a demonstration of your resolve. Success, achieved with integrity, becomes the most dignified response. Moreover, responding to disrespect with kindness and grace often turns the situation around. When someone disrespects you, they may expect anger or defensiveness. By responding with composure and understanding, you disarm them and sometimes even earn their respect. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this approach, writing, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Lastly, turning disrespect into strength is about learning from every experience. After encountering disrespect, reflect on how you handled it. Ask yourself, did I respond in line with my values? What could I do differently next time? This continuous self-improvement ensures that each challenge leaves you stronger and more prepared for the next. In the end, disrespect doesn't have to weaken you. With the Stoic mindset, it becomes a tool for building resilience, character, and wisdom. By transforming these moments into opportunities for growth, you embody the true power of Stoicism, remaining unshaken, virtuous, and in control, no matter what life throws your way. Disrespect is an inevitable part of life. Whether it comes in the form of harsh words, dismissive attitudes, or outright hostility, how we handle these moments defines our character. The Stoic approach teaches us that while we cannot control others' behavior, we can always control our response. This is the true power of Stoicism. It empowers us to remain calm, composed, and virtuous, even in the face of negativity. By applying the lessons of Stoic philosophy, you can transform moments of disrespect into opportunities for growth. You've learned to focus only on what you can control, letting go of the actions and opinions of others. You've discovered the strength in not taking things personally, understanding that others' behavior often reflects their own struggles rather than your worth. The practice of pausing before reacting allows you to act with intention rather than emotion, while seeking to understand others fosters empathy and diffuses conflict. Reframing insults turns them into tools for self-improvement or humor, and remembering the bigger picture reminds you of the insignificance of most slights in the vastness of life. Detachment frees you from the need for external validation, allowing you to maintain inner peace no matter the circumstances. Negative visualization prepares your mind to handle disrespect with grace, while turning disrespect into strength transforms adversity into a source of personal power. Each of these lessons is a building block for resilience, equipping you to face life's challenges with the calmness and clarity of a true Stoic. At its core, Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or tolerating disrespect. It's about mastery of the self. It's about choosing peace over conflict, wisdom over ego, and growth over stagnation. By embracing these principles, you can rise above the pettiness of insults and negativity, creating a life grounded in strength and virtue. So the next time you encounter disrespect, remember, you have the power to choose your response. Will you react impulsively, or will you embody the Stoic ideals of patience, composure, and wisdom? The choice is yours. If you found these lessons helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Mastery for more timeless insights into living a virtuous and resilient life. Let us know in the comments which lesson resonated with you the most. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.